Captain Atom number 7, written by J.T. Kroll, art by Freddie Williams II. We left off last issue with the end of an arc where Captain Atom beat back this big monster that was like his prototype, and then we saw that in the near future the entire world's going to explode. So yeah, that's a thing to look forward to. This issue picks up with the dawn of the concept of time. So the first time that humans were putting up like rocks in the sand and then using that to like mark the seasons and the days and whatnot. That is where this clock that has been showing up all throughout Captain Atom started ticking at. That's where 0000000000 is. So going off that, in the year, what I assume is a year since then, 6594, we have this being that looks a whole lot like Captain Atom, but has this big red dot on his head, is sitting out in space, and he's got this dandelion that he's like creating life from, and at some point it gets away from him and he goes over into the sun and starts just like burrowing into it. And we see all these different visions throughout time of, I'm pretty sure it's all things related to Captain Atom, but it's also like some stuff is significantly outside of things that can be him, so it's definitely other things as well. I don't know. It's just a big double-page splash of like big important things. But regardless, we go to now. That was 20 years from now. This is now. So we go to now, and Captain Atom's just hanging over that one kid that he cured of cancer like forever ago, who's just out playing with his dad, playing Frisbee or whatever, and he's just happy that he could do something like that he was able to give this boy more future. And then he's like, well, maybe I can go and help other people. So he goes and talks to Dr. Magala, who he opens up with saying, absolutely not. You are not going to fix me. I don't need fixing. And he's like, I can help you talk again. He's like, I can talk. Of course, through his computerized voice. He's like, well, I can help you walk. And he's like, the reason I'm so smart, the reason I'm able to do the things I do is because I'm not distracted by all of this other stuff. If you gave me access to all this other stuff, I'm going to lose that knowledge, and that's what's most precious to me. So, no, you're not going to fix me because there are other ways to get out of this chair. And then we go down to the whole reason that he's actually there, which is they have a particle accelerator, and Captain Atom's just going to help make it go faster, I guess. And he's talking to Renita, just like, so this is a pretty small crew here. Is everyone else afraid of me? He's just like, no, these are just the people I can trust because the general still wants you as a weapon. So, yeah, these people are cool. And she's like, oh, I know your boyfriend isn't here. And he's like, yeah, no, Scott still hates you. We know that, but you're going to have to get over it. Moving on, let's go crash some particles. So he's focusing on the particles, helping them crash or whatever, but then he hears the energy from them nearly like speak to him, and then he starts getting flashes throughout his own past, where he sees his dad teaching him how to ride a bike. He sees the day that Dr. Magala is telling him, hey, here's like this test ship I want you to use to go interdimensional traveling. Are you in? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. He's like, you don't even know what it would be like. And he's like, I don't care, I'm in. We see him getting a test from a doctor named Heather, I believe. And also him hanging out with this girl, Heather, as a kid. And they go roller skating together and they hold hands. So they're kind of flirty with each other. And that just keeps bouncing back and forth between the two times. Then we see him actually getting into the interdimensional ship and just start taking it out for its run. But apparently something in the controls are going wrong. And Magala tells the doctors to power it down. But, of course, they can't just immediately power it down. They have to slowly do so. And as that's happening, he loses control of the ship. Then we cut to, I think, shortly before that, like a few months before that even. And we see Nathaniel Adams, before he became any of that, he just came back from him being on duty, I think. And he finds out that his dad died while he, like, very recently, like he was hanging up something on a toilet and he fell and cracked his head open. So he was just dead in the bathroom. Then we get quick glimpses throughout his entire life in just rapid succession here. And then he gets himself kicked out of it back to now. And Renita's like, yo, hey, everything all right? We got some crazy readings there. He's like, yeah, no, sorry. I just got a little bit too close. So you want to go again? And she's like, actually, I got dinner with my boyfriend, so rain check. So then we see her going to dinner with the boyfriend, and Captain Adam, of course, is basically just like stalking them. He's like, I know that I shouldn't be here, and I know I could be like finding out the secrets to the universe, but it's the little things. And he sees Renita having fun on this date with Scott, and she's just like, I'd like to know more about Renita, like her favorite color. I hope it's blue. And then as he's staring at them, he realizes that the reflection is actually not him. It's this being from the beginning of the comic, the one from 20 years from now. And he's like, hey, Nathaniel, I know how much you care, but we need to talk. And that's where it ends, is him talking to his own reflection, it seems like. But it's clearly not him, or it's him 20 years from now, or something, something, something. I like it. I think it's good. I mean, it's the same artist, same writer. It's carrying on pretty much exactly where it left off from the last time, but it's just a new arc. It it seems like they're playing around with this clock aspect a bit more, with the concept of time, more so than the concept of being, as the first arc did. And if that's the case, I really need to pay more attention to these timer things. I do kind of wish that they would have picked a better way of showing the time, because right now it's just days, hours, minutes, seconds, and then in the back of the clock it's years. But it's years from the moment that humanity first started keeping time. So in the back it's all 6,574, which does not translate in my head as any particular point in time. I understand 2012 at the point of this publishing was a bit arbitrary as well, but at least I could keep track of it a bit better. This one's going to take some adjusting. So I'm not saying that's my tiniest little nitpick. Everything else in here is pretty much fine. My biggest qualm with it is the fact that it's going to be really hard to keep track of time, if that's the thing that they're putting forward as the story from here on out. And the fact that, I don't know, the Renita Scott thing, maybe I just wasn't entirely, or it wasn't the story being told from Captain Adam's perspective, so it makes sense that we didn't get it, but it also does just feel like it came out of nowhere. The fact that they are now a couple, I don't know. It was strange to me. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 7. I think it's good, and the art is still fantastic. The middle bit of just showing his entire life, I'm sure, will come into play later, but at this point it feels more like, yeah, we never actually really got to that origin story of Captain Atom, so maybe we should do that now. Which, it's not awful, but it's also just a bit scattershot and just fills in the blanks as bare necessities as possible. So yeah, I give it a 7. It's still a good issue overall.